Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Hey, you guys, this is Eric Gower, the guy who brought home Maddie and Kaylee. There's no video. It's only audio, which is why it just has the same little thing. I've been trying to keep this part at least like pretty uniform with the way that it looks. But it's just the audio, and you can hear it pretty fine. I put a couple clips in here. Like I think there's like two parts where it has like the video of him like pulling in and like waiting and then them leaving. But it's not very long. How long is this? 14 minutes. The interview's 14 minutes. It's not very long whatsoever. So I'm going to go ahead and press play. But while this starts, I do want to know, put a 1 in the chat if you've already listened to this. Because I'm curious who actually caught it last night. Was it last night? I think it was last night whenever it was posted. All right. Oh, and for those of you who follow along on the documents, this is supplemental number 113. Page number 239 is the narrative from Sergeant Blaker, where he talks about how Eric Gower actually contacted the police department earlier on the 14th and said that he was the one who brought the girls home from that downtown area, and that he was in Spokane at the time that he was calling them and wouldn't be back in the Moscow area until around 1700 hours or around 5 p.m., right? It's like 5 p.m. Try to do my math in my head from a military time. It's not instant for me like that. This is where we got some interesting information, because for the longest we were basically being told that he didn't contact them, that he tried to act as if he didn't know anything had happened, but then had to take like some days off. There was actually like a lot of rumors going around that turned out to not to be true whatsoever. It looks like the DoorDash driver and Eric Gower, which probably needs to be like a small clip subject to itself to like clear that out. It seems like those two were like mixed up. He came forward instantly. He even says that he messaged, I think, both Kaylee and Maddie to see if they were okay after he like got the vandal alert and heard what happened. But he came forward. He instantly got a hold of the police, said, hey, I was the one. I'm going to talk to him. It wasn't him that evaded the police and acted like they didn't know that they needed to contact them or anything. Because what did we learn in Molly's interview? They had to track her down. We know that it came from geofence warrants where they found her phone number that was in the area, where they found more than one phone number. I think there was like 3. There was like 3 total, I think, that were like super questionable that they went after, one of them being Molly's, and then they got more information and talked to her. But she says in her interview all these excuses about an alignment and tires and blah, 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 for why she was ignoring the police trying to get a hold of her. And then she tries to use this like, oh my God, I just get like so nervous whenever I get a phone call. It's the anxiety. I just can't answer it. I can't listen to voicemails either. I have to do talk to text on the voicemails because it just freaks me out and I just can't answer. This woman's a mess. This woman is a hot ass mess. Okay. I digress on that though. Just to fix up the clarification, try to figure that out, because a lot of people thought it was the Eric guy, and you know, he's creepy anyway with Mr. Airplane Bottles and all the other things, but it was not Eric, who did not go to the police, who acted like he didn't have nothing to say. It was a DoorDasher. Eric Gower contacted the police the very next day on Monday. So let's keep that part in mind. Okay, let's get started.
Do you know a Maddie or Kaylee?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you know that?
So I drive for Uber and Lyft. I drive for Uber and Lyft, and so I met them through that, and they kind of became some of my regulars. So I drive them pretty frequently. They texted me last night at Saturday at 10:02 p.m. Kaylee texted me. And asked if I could pick her and some friends up from their house at 11:22 and take them to the club.
At 11:22, hold on. That's like an hour after we were told. Maybe because he's in Moscow at the time that he's having this conversation. At 11:22, they should have already been at the club. Like they got dropped off at the club before 11, like right before 11, I thought. Maybe he's seeing it wrong.
At 10:02 p.m., Kaylee texted me and after I pick her and some friends up from their house at 11:22 and take them to the club. I got there at 10:15, picked them up, took them to the club. I think there was 3 of them. Can't remember that for sure, but there was at least a couple.
But is he saying 11:22 like the address? Okay, let me make sure. Just the way that he said that was weird.
And after I pick her and some friends up from their house at 11:22 and take them to the club.
Okay.
I got there at 10:15.
Okay.
Picked them up, took them to the club. I think there was 3 of them.
Which we didn't know about.
Can't remember that for sure, but there was at least a couple in the back, I think, and Kaylee was up front. And then at
Lakeland. A girl named Lakeland. Yeah, I had to like listen to the full thing. I should have just let it play, honestly, but I always do that. I always just like stop too early and then I figure it out 5 seconds later. But whatever. Lakeland is the girl that was with them. They kept it very secret. They kept so many things so secret. The fact that another girl went with them to the club that night, and the fact that there was another girl in 11:22 before Maddie and Kaylee got home that night with Dylan and Bethany. They kept all of that really quiet amongst a million other things. But yeah, a girl named Lakeland was with them.
1:45 a.m. Kaylee texted me, said, "Hey, can you come pick me up and some friends from the grub truck?" I got there at 1:49, and then they got in the car shortly thereafter, and I took them home. It was only 3-4 minute drive. Dropped them off, and then headed out to another ride.
And who did you pick up? What time did you pick them up at?
I got to the grub truck at 1:49 a.m. And then their sister, I think it was, texted me last night.
Olivia.
And kind of talking with her.
See right here, you can see Maddie. You see how she's pointing? She's pointing out Eric is there. That's what only thing I can really think of is that's what she's pointing that direction. Hey, he's right there. And Kaylee seems to be looking at her phone at around the same time that he's probably also messaging them to be like, hey, I'm here.
Went and found because grub truck live streams their stuff. Went and found him on.
And see, Showalter like looks in that direction too. Like obviously he's not really like in the conversation because he does seem still like really surprised and everybody just kind of like take off. But he does seem to be aware that a vehicle pulled up.
On that. Because I couldn't remember for sure who the other person was. And so found him on that, and then they got in the car, and then we drove straight to their house, and I dropped them off.
All right, so let's go back through here just a little bit. So you drive for Uber and Lyft. How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing that since 2019.
And see, there he goes walking off.
How long has Kaylee been a regular for you?
I think they started last year. I think they lived there last year. There's a lot of people that come through that house, like friends of theirs and old alumni and stuff.
So for about the last year then?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were obviously working Saturday night, or were you just at home?
Yep, I was working.
Okay, so you're out. You have an app that they contact you through, or was she texting you directly?
She is texting me directly.
Okay. So Kaylee has your cell phone number?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Lots of them do.
They contacted you directly. You picked them up at the house first?
Yep. Picked them up at the house, 11:22 there at whatever time, 10:02 I think is when she first texted me. I think I got there at 10:15.
Kaylee.
Okay. And you said you took Kaylee and 3 other girls?
I think there was 3 total. I think there were 3 total.
So Kaylee and 2 others?
Yeah, I think. So there's.
Thanks for the $9.99, Tiff. Thank you for being here with me. Hello. Thank you. Yeah. Basically, it's the same as that we can see like in the grub truck video, how he turns around and walks off. That's what I said whenever we went over this the first time, that in the grub truck one, it looks like he sort of like rushes off a little bit. But in this one, he looks like he's just walking pretty normal. He's sort of like, I don't know if he like flips them off or if he's waving at them, but his arm goes up in acknowledgement of them being in the vehicle. And then it looked like he just walks normal. Like it doesn't look like he's rushing off to me at all.
Quite a few that come through that house, so I hadn't gotten names and faces down entirely. It's always dark when I'm driving people, so it's fine. Can't remember who all.
Right, but Maddie lived there the longest. And he's pretty much just like really nonchalant with Maddie, like not really recognizing if it was her or not. But for Kaylee, he's pretty freaking positive. And Kaylee had just moved into that house. So, I mean, she probably used him when she lived in an apartment before that. So she probably used him then. But the fact that Maddie'd been there for so long, like there's no reason for him to be like, yeah, there's so many people in and out, I don't really know. She's been there the longest. I feel like you should.
Then you got another text from her about 1:45.
Yep.
Asking to pick them up with a grub truck.
Yep.
She says, there's the white truck. Do you know what timestamp? I'd like to hear that myself. I'm not sure. Possibly. Yeah, because that's like the main thing he talks about. Plus, she's always in the front seat, like regardless. Like I could understand like whenever they left with Lakeland, because there was 3 of them. But why is she in the front seat when it's just her and Maddie? Like, I take a lot of Ubers because I have to like get to certain places right now, and I get rental cars a lot. Like twice a month, I'm at Enterprise getting a rental car. I never get in the front seat when I'm being driven somewhere. Never. And the Enterprise will pick me up and bring me back. I'm in the back seat. I don't want to be right next to somebody. Like, unless I know you, I don't want to sit next to you like that in a car. Like, it just feels real strange. Plus, I don't ever want, like, a personal driver either to, like, just know me like that. So maybe it's different because they've actually used him all of the time for their stuff. But I would not want to be in the front seat. But then I also can't let go of like the airplane bottles of alcohol. So then I'm curious as to if they were drinking some in his car and he's just not telling us that. Because he is known for that, apparently. Having airplane little bottles in his car. So maybe, I don't know.
You arrived there at 1:49.
Yep.
Okay. And when you picked them up, where did you park?
I parked in front of the grub truck, and so then they came to the back of the car.
Now, what do you mean by in front of the grub truck? In front of it?
So where it parks there outside the garden,
Okay.
it had a space in front of it, and there was a car already behind it.
Okay.
So when I pulled up, I just kind of pulled in between the front of the grub truck and that curb, but like where the Friendship Square like crosswalk is.
Okay, so you're facing.
I'm facing south.
Okay, so you're facing the south direction.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just
which was a complete lie. I was going to grab that clip before the live, but I wasn't planning on actually going live tonight. So this was really supposed to be like tomorrow, and I would have had the clip put in here. Yeah, and that's always been bullshit because Olivia didn't know this guy's name until the night of the murders. And she was in the passenger seat of their vehicle as her husband was driving them to Idaho from California. And she found the information from logging into the family phone account and like getting the info. He was not a freaking family friend. I don't know why the hell they came out and elaborated, exaggerated, and lied about so many things. But that's just prime example of how willing they are to lie about something to make somebody look good when it's not necessary. Uber drivers in that area, sober drivers are such a common thing. They did not have to pretend like this was some family friend and the girls were being oh so safe. They were apparently being safe enough by being together and using a private driver that they've used before. They don't have to be a family friend. So I don't know why they put that emphasis on this, but they didn't even know this man existed until after Kaylee died. But they'll never come out and explain that either, I'm sure.
How long did it take them to get to you?
2-3 minutes, maybe. I pulled up and I texted her that where I parked, and she said, "Perfect, be in a sec." They are at 75 and we were at 78 order numbers.
Okay.
And within a couple minutes, they got in. Kaylee sat up front.
There's Kaylee getting in front. Okay. She's about to walk in front.
Did they say anything to you when they got in the car?
Like we talked like
There's
usual. Maddie was in the back
There's
and
the arm
was
up.
eating her grub truck with her hands, and Kaylee was up front and just kind of was like, "Hey, I hear you back there eating that with your dirty little hands. Like, don't eat all of that. We're gonna split it." She's like, "I'm not."
I can hear you back there eating that with your dirty little hands. That's funny. I'm sorry. That's so funny. Thank you for the $4.99, Jackie. I appreciate it. Thank you. That's just fun.
And then, I mean, kind of talked after how the night went and everything was fine.
What did they say about that?
I don't remember. Yeah, I was working since like 10 a.m. I've been out till 3 the night before, I think it was. So I had a bunch of people, but it's kind
Did he just say they had told him that they had been out till 3 the night before? That's not the story that we were told. We were told that they see, and this is the back and forth thing too. I want to have a conversation with a few different people, even though I know I'm not liked on that side of the fence. I don't really give a shit. If you're going to try to actually like get some sort of proof of truth or anything out there, eventually somebody's going to answer the questions. I want to know why we have differing stories when it comes to so many things in this case. Because we've been told again that Kaylee was asked to be a +1 to the damn formal with Dylan. In the book where they are interviewing Emily and Josie and the Chapins and all these freaking people, okay, 300 plus freaking interviews. It's what the Amazon series is based on. They're sitting here telling us all kinds of opposite information, stuff that doesn't even make sense. They said the formal didn't happen because Dylan and Bethany would not have been welcomed, so they had a formal party at their own house. Well, then Dylan and Bethany and like all these other people are saying in the interviews that they did go to the formal. There was a dance that they went to, and they took an Uber home. He's going to mention being contacted, but not being the one that ended up being the driver or whatever, but that everything ended up at King Road. So is he telling us something that they hid from us? Or is he mistaken in what he was told? Because he just said, they said they were out for until 3 the night before. And that's not what we were told. We were told it all happened at 11:22.
all of that, we're going to split it. She's like, I'm not. And then, I mean, just kind of talked after how the night went and everything was fine.
What did they say about that?
I don't remember. Yeah, I was working since like 10 a.m. I've been out till 3 the night before, I think it was. So I had a bunch of people, but it's kind of usual.
I think that's his schedule. Okay, one more time.
Working since like 10 a.m. And then, I mean, just kind of talked after how the night went and everything was fine.
What did they say about that?
See, he says, the cop is asking, what did they say about that? So it's making it sound like the answer coming out of his mouth is supposed to be about Kaylee and Maddie. I hate this interview already. It's horribly done.
So, I mean, just kind of talked after how the night went and everything was fine.
What did they say about that?
I don't remember. Yeah, I was working since like 10 a.m. I've been out till 3 the night before, I think it was.
Okay, so that is him. Why is he answering that question? He asked what the girls said about being out that night, and his response was that he had been working since 10 a.m. and had stopped working at 3 a.m. the night before. So basically saying he'd only been off for 7 hours before working again, like from 10 to 2 something in the morning. Why are you answering that like that? You confuzzled me, bro. You just confuzzled me.
About that?
I don't remember. Yeah, I was working since like 10 a.m. I've been out till 3 the night before, I think it was. So I had a bunch of people, but it's kind of usual. Like, I don't remember him saying anything like, oh, tonight sucked or whatever. I had a lot of people that said, oh, tonight was like so, but nothing like that stood out as far as weird or awkward or anything like that. As far as no, I remember everything was fine.
They didn't talk about anybody else they had been talking to during the night. Didn't give you anything to make you feel that there was anything that had happened during the night. Do you still have all their texts?
Yeah.
Can you screenshot those and send those to me from the first text with her to the last?
First ever?
From Saturday.
I'd be interested in the first ever.
Your first text with her.
How long they've known each other?
Saturday, 8:40.
Yeah,
so I was driving.
Okay, start with that one. Okay, so start there. And then to whenever your last text with her was.
Okay. Yeah, I texted her after I got the vandal alert asking if they were all okay. Okay. And then what's your phone number?
This is quiet for like a long time. I remember when I was recording this, I was like, wow, this is like a really long time. It's a long phone number. I would like to know what else is being asked here. Probably like his address and other information.
Yep. What's your middle initial?
Yeah.
Okay. And your date of birth?
Yeah, he was working for Uber. As far as I can understand, when he picked them up, he was still technically like to go to the corner club. He was still technically on the clock, but still picked them up as a private ride. And then he clocked off of the I'm trying to say Uber, and it's making me want to say Uber for some freaking reason. He clocked off of the Uber app at 1:15 in the morning, and it was about 30 minutes later that he got a message from Kaylee.
I'm gonna ask for a board address.
Right? You remember that order number though? Like you remember them telling you the exact order number? That's a good point. That's such a weird thing to remember out of everything.
Phone number again.
Yeah. You have okay. Is that about it? Okay.
You can send those to me.
Yep. Okay.
But like this is the problem. This is a big issue that I have. We probably need to talk about Maddie's drunkenness by itself eventually, because I think it was it Peyton? Was it Peyton? Don't quote me on who says this, but it was more than one person. Like I know, was it Bethany that makes a statement about it? There's been more than one person say that Maddie was the drunkest they've ever seen her. And I feel like it was either Jenna or Peyton's interview where they said the exact same thing based on like actually watching the footage of the girls walking, that Maddie was the most drunk that they've ever seen her. So then I really question like, okay, well then why is that the one who took the dog out? Why is she the one who was left outside alone with the dog if she was so drunk, the drunkest that you've ever seen her? It's a horrible choice. Horrible choice.
It shows what they sent at least.
I know. I remember Bethany saying it, but I heard it was one other place too. I'm gonna have to go back and listen. That's a good question. Because they said that Kaylee was pretty much like okay, that she wasn't that drunk at all. That she was fine. Like you could tell she was tipsy, but she wasn't like over the limit. And we saw like their receipts. Maybe she took something that we don't know about. It could have been something that was slipped in her drink, or it could have been something that she took. We don't really know. It sounded like Maddie was really against that stuff. Because like in all the talk about anybody that was doing anything, it's been Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. And when it comes to Maddie, she's always like, hell no. She's like super clean. Which makes a lot of sense. But I don't know. Unless she just can't handle alcohol very much. Or maybe she just really overdid it because Kaylee was there. And maybe she felt like she could. I just don't know why you would let her go outside with the dog in the middle of the night when she's the drunkest you've ever seen her. Wild stuff.
And you said
He's over here all the time too.
okay. That same number for me.
They're still going through personal information. My God.
Back to my notes.
How many phone numbers do you have?
Yeah,
But based off of your interactions with them, nothing, you didn't have any feeling of anything out of the ordinary?
no. Maddie was drunker than Kaylee. I mean, you can tell they've been out at the bars, but everything seemed fine. Behavior seemed typical. Like I kind of usually notice when someone gets in, I'm like, hey, how's the night been? Oh, shitty, or whatever. That's an unusual response.
How intoxicated compared to normal interactions with them?
Unless there's something in the ISP documents that I haven't seen yet. I haven't seen where an actual toxicology report or anything that shows stomach contents, alcohol content. I haven't seen anything like that be released yet. And I don't really understand why, because there's no way that you're going to sit there and tell me that their toxicology reports were clean when we have Adderall squished up on a desk and we know for a fact everybody was drinking. Regardless of how much they were drinking, They were still drinking all within a 72-hour, 48-hour, 72-hour period. The alcohol would have showed up in their system. So I don't know why Howard Bloom, whatever, came out here freaking lying, saying that the autopsy reports had been released and that they were clean, because hell no, they're not going to be clean. If anything, at minimum, everyone's supposed to have alcohol in their system. So that was just a straight up lie to begin with. But no, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything. And I don't know why, because what are you hiding at this point? Why not release the autopsy reports? So stupid.
I think Kaylee was pretty normal. Maddie was definitely, like, she was a little tipsy, kind of struggling to stand and walk a little bit. And you can see that on the Grove truck thing too. Yeah. And then as I was backing out of their driveway.
But that's not, there's no report that says that though, Angel. There's no actual report out there that says that. I haven't seen anything come from MPD or ISP that says anything about that. We know that they have like a list of like all the stuff that was taken from them, but I haven't seen anything that actually shows toxicology system testing at all.
Because it's kind of tight there, but I typically kind of drag my feet a little bit as I'm backing out and make sure they make it up and everything okay. And yeah, they made it inside safe and sound and everything. Nothing.
Did you see anything weird in the area before you left?
Yeah, there was I'm trying to remember if that was last night or not. There was right as like you come up like you're heading to the Queens and you go turn right into their driveway. There's a car parked there and there's kind of a pile of stuff on the road. And one thing was a shoe. And I didn't pull in. I think that might have been Friday night. And because like, I won't pull in. I don't want to run over whoever.
Besides the roommates, yeah.
I think I was pulled in the driveway and backing out when they were walking up. So I don't think that was the same night.
Anything?
I agree.
So you picked them up on Friday too?
I think so. Go back through here.
I know. Can you imagine? Like, as far as I understand, it was done. I don't know why the hell somebody with any sort of experience would have came out and been like, oh, it's not necessary. Are you stupid? That's the first thing that I would have been like, there's no way that 4 people were subdued on 2 floors in the middle of the night and there wasn't maybe something that helped that happen. Test it all, please. Yeah, she was an idiot. She's so stupid. Ugh, dumb. She's dumb.
Saturday. So she did text me Friday at 8:15, just asking if I was driving. I said I was, but then I never heard from him. So maybe that's a different night or different roommates or something. I can't.
Well, welcome, dog wifey. Well, welcome. And Mabbit's also a lawyer. I know. Can you imagine? I mean, it's bad enough she called the Goncalveses and told a bunch of the damn disgusting, horrible details of Kaylee's death to the minor child on the phone. Like, what? Girl. Who told you knew what you were doing?
Regularly pick people up from the house.
Yeah, that house and like kind of at the top of King Street there on the left. Those are like my 2 popular ones over there.
Who else have you driven from that house? Can you remember that?
I'm trying to remember when I was trying to text people, see if everyone was okay. I think there's another that lives there maybe, or I've driven from there. I'm trying to remember where she goes. I only see her every once in a while. But I think might be one of those other houses that's just towards King Street, like one of those 2 that's kind of like the steep driveway. But they have quite a few alumni that come through that I've driven in the past. Like there's one, her name's well, she lives down in Boise now, and like it's always kind of a hodgepodge of people from that house versus like it's always the same like 2 or 3 girls. So okay. All right.
Are y'all hearing his groggle? Was he talking like that at first? Because I feel like he's just like gotten there now, and it's very much like Dylan's and it's really getting on my nerves. When did it turn into that?
Did you pick anyone out from that and drop them off in that area after Kaylee and Maddie?
I don't think so. I had rides
like
out of
it.
that area, and like I think I had some rides taking people back to there. I think that was before them, and they were girls. And then I picked up a couple from the house that's right there on the intersection of King Road.
1112
house there. And I took some people from there to campus, like Greek Row, I think. And then I had a request from there for it. That was and everything. But then they canceled, and then Kaylee texted me from Grub Truck. So I don't know if it's for sure the same person.
What time do you think you dropped them off at their place?
We like one. Oh, hang on.
You keep track of that?
Not really, but I had a ride right after. I was going to go pick up a guy at the alley, and
the alley.
I texted him that I was.
John's Alley is where the girls were apparently going originally whenever they left the corner club with Jack Showalter. Something else that they didn't tell us. They made it seem like them leaving the corner club was for the intention of going to the grub truck before then going home with a ride. And that wasn't the case. It made it seem as if Jack Showalter was just doing like the good guy thing and escorting them to the grub truck before their ride got there. No, they were planning on actually going to a whole completely different bar named John's Alley. That was their intention of leaving. And grub truck happened to just be like a side quest that changed the entire thing. I don't know why they hid that from us either. How stupid.
Headed his way at 2:13. I had
2:13 is the exact same time that you text Dylan back.
Maddie filmed some grub truck on the back seat, so when I pulled out of King Street, it pulled right next to those apartments and cleaned off the seat real quick before I headed that way.
Did she say that there was like food on the seat from Maddie eating the grub truck?
Back seat, so when I pulled out of King Street, and that I was headed his way at 2:13. I had Maddie filmed some grub truck on the back seat, so when I pulled out of King Street, it pulled right next to those apartments and cleaned off the seat real quick before I headed that way.
So that's interesting because a lot of people were questioning, like, did he just show up over there because he didn't get a response and he just kind of figured that meant that they needed a ride? Did he just like show up? But he's basically saying that at 2:13, which is again, why the frick does this stuff always give me hiccups? Oh, again, the same exact time that he's apparently texting Dylan. Dylan texted him at 2:10, asking if he was still out driving. He responds at 2:13. She never responds back to him at all, which is just also super suspicious to me. And I say that because it's becoming extremely more clear, at least in my opinion, that Dylan really didn't have any intention of calling Bethany, telling Bethany anything, that it wasn't until Bethany called her with what Bethany saw and heard in way of the light and the firecracker sizzle or sparkler sound, that then the conversation got started. And it really just makes me more curious about every damn thing that Dylan did, including messaging Eric. Because what if that wasn't the conversation? I mean, I guess it sort of sounded like it could have been the conversation. I know that she opened up a video and you could sort of like hear talking. I just don't trust like anything, especially when she brings out a detail about how she was walking down the stairs as she was messaging him. You can remember that you were walking down the damn flight of stairs whenever you were texting somebody, but you can't remember anything else. I'm just so tired of all the bullshit and the lies. And it's so obvious. Like, you can't sit there with the kind of details that you pop out of your mouth and then sit there and also say stuff about like, hey, you don't remember anything. And, oh, I just don't know. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I'm thinking I probably texted him about the time I was either pulling out or was on Taylor there.
So not right after you dropped
not like
Kaylee and Maddie off.
Yeah, not like immediate, but I probably dropped him off around 1:55, 2, somewhere in there.
It's like 1:56 is what the Goncalves said.
2:13 is when you texted the other ones?
Yeah, I texted him at 2:13 that I was headed his way, be there in a minute. But I don't remember 100% where I was, but.
Okay. So you're guessing what time they dropped him off?
2-ish.
I don't know why it got so quiet right there.
Anything else that you think would be pertinent information that we need to know?
I think so. I've been kind of trying to like think over things, and then the sister that texted me, like, she had kind of asked, like, hey, do you remember what time you dropped him off and that sort of thing.
Olivia.
I don't think so.
Okay. One last thing, and I've been asking everyone I talked to during this. Let me get your hand. Yeah. Is that funny? Just everything out we can.
I can do whatever.
Doesn't appear those have come through yet. What kind of signal strength do you have right now?
2 bars.
Signal strength. That's why it's crappy.
Yeah, I'm still not getting it through.
Okay.
I'll see if after you, it says it sent.
Yeah, it usually has a bar across the top if it's still trying to send.
Okay. My phone just may not have picked it up yet, so I'll give it a few minutes. If I don't get it, I'll retext it.
You use your own vehicle with Uber and Lyft. It's not any of their business if you do something separate. As long as you're not doing it while you're on the clock with Uber, it's not any of their concern. It's not an Uber vehicle. Well, I'll take that back. Some people do have Uber vehicles. I know that right around like the pandemic, there was an option with Uber that you could get a car with Uber and pay a monthly fee to get the car, like a monthly note, but it would come out of like everything that you made. So until you made your car payment back in working, you weren't getting a single dime from anything that you did. But no, if it's your own vehicle, it's not their business.
Okay, I'll text you and then you can resend it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Well, I think that's all I need from you then for now.
So I appreciate it. You go and really said thank you for coming in.
Oh yeah,
No problem.
everything like that. So
But if so, let me know if you need anything else.
Thank you for spending your time in here with me on a Sunday night. Tomorrow is Monday. Try not to let it overpower you because Monday can do that to you, but let's just try not to give it that power. Hopefully soon. But there's a lot on this last list. It's been like 40 each, and this last one has like over 100, I think, or almost 100. It's a lot. So I don't know because the holidays are coming up. So I guess we'll see. Hopefully this week we get something when it comes to information. We'll see though. But again, thank you so much for coming in here with me tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great Sunday. Have an even better Monday. Let me go ahead and roll this out. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. All right, you guys. See y'all.